of the next parliament, which is supposed to give some legalities to the Presidential Institute and allow to the Presidential Institute to go with the core of the peoples. In some time, a lot of interpretation would like to say that we told only one direction if we select a Presidential Institute, decide and execute whatever they like. But this is not happening. We did some very limited legality, which is allowed to stabilize the country in terms of security, in terms of build some of relation and cooperation, and try to make alliance by all different matrix inside the country itself. And the third, we try to continue with our economy, at least with some stable level like what we achieved. All the Finance Institute already confirmed that Egypt now within the area of a stable level for economy. So the third option to Egypt and the third necessary step ahead is to elect a good strong parliament, allow to the Presidential Institute to deal with the people, understood how to convince the people for the benefit of the economy, and also create a legacy structure, allow to foster, apply the law in the courts, rather than to go for very long suspension period time, which is lose the core of the right inside the country. We respect the judgment, we respect the people inside, but we cannot continue like this. We cannot long period for final decision or final go in the courts without no influences to the depth of the civilization in the country. Civilization in the country is applied the core and the heart of the law in certain time with no long more, which is affected to our stability. And this is what we're looking for. And this is what the clear Dina requested after the third parliament stage.
Right.
Can I add?
Please.
Since the new Suez Canal project gives a lot of credibility for Egypt, not only for the economy. So when we see a good project like this, the majority of the Egyptians shared in this project with their money, and we have very accurate scheduled time for finishing, for finalize this project. This project gives a lot of credibility for Egypt, not only for the economy, and I think it was a good step for the economic conference and for the image of Egypt and for the Egyptian when we are fighting terrorism and dealing with all of our problems in very tough environment around us in the region. We have very good step in the economic big project like this.
Right. General Halabi, a big part of the problem in countries like Syria, Iraq, and Yemen is the conflict, which there is a conflict and there are domestic, regional, and even international forces that are engaged together since the Arab Spring in particular. And with the fact there are some also factions who are trying to take political and financial gains behind the turbulence that is associated with this Arab Spring. If you can explain that more in a more clear language, how is that happening?
In simple words, the regions are facing a reshaping process, and this reshaping process will plan from the big players. The big players is the United States and maybe some Eastern countries, and we have regional players for executing this process. So we have a lot of foreign hands.
We have also the regimes of those countries who are sharing in this conflict, escalating the conflict. How are all these elements joined together, taking the country down the drain, like a country like, for example, Syria? What's happening there?
Because they have oppositions. This opposition, the regime did not adopt this opposition and make them sharing with the resources, so they have some foreign hands to help them with money and weapons and all kind of support. So you find now a huge and massive non-state actor inside Syria like Jabhat al-Nusra fighting against the regime.
But do you call Jabhat al-Nusra opposition, or you call it a financed militant faction that is supported by Western elements
in the beginning
for self-interest?
In the beginning they were minor, not this massive, but day by day if the government cannot deal with this situation and this group of people in the beginning
do they have political motives or do they have self-interest motives?
Both. They have foreign support and also like Daesh now. Daesh in the beginning maybe they have foreign support by money and weapons, but now that they have their own resources, oil resources, capture all maybe every 2 weeks they capture
and the banks
journalists. They asked approximately $200 million for each. So approximately for the approximately $400 million. So they have. I will give you some data from a magazine, United States magazine, Business Insider. They said that Daesh has daily resources approximately $3 million from oil and capture some people and also banks which are completely away from Islam. The second point I'd like to add, they like to the foreign hands like to give a very bad image about Islam in the West. When we saw in the video when they
right, but why did the Western elements shoot that video, or some Arab factions, militant factions shoot that video? Why do we hide our heads in the sand and take all the blame on the Western powers, while we are also sharing by not adapting a renovation of the religious discourse, like President Sisi said. There is a dire need to change the religious discourse in every Arab country.
Sure.
So the mission is not on the, we should not put the blame all the time on the Western world.
Sure, you are right. The responsibility not all the time on the Western, but also on the Islamic countries. We should, I will give you one solution. We should have maybe good and attractive TV channels speaking and addressing what we need to say and what is our issues to the West, which is not.
Unfortunately, only have to. Hopefully, the state government is working hard on achieving that. But only we have two moments left. So I would like also to direct that question to you, Dr. Qalyoubi. The Unified Investment Law. So do you think it is, of course we know that it's due to be applicated, practically very soon. Do you think it will succeed in simplifying the procedures and create what we can call a one-stop shop as part of the efforts to effect a positive investment climate here in Egypt?
Certainly not, but we need some parameters. This is the parameter we don't accept about the chicken hand anymore. So whenever we have to apply the judgments, put it and set it. And this is the culture of what we need to do. The second, we would like to spread the culture to the all citizens. That we shall be in one way to be attacked and stop any kind of invasion inside our society. This is very important. You can attack whatever somebody is coming out of the food, but you cannot overcome a people inside in the same area. That's mean we shall be in one heart, in one goal to be defense about this country. Further, that we need to know that our problems as Egyptian is coming related to the economy. So now it's a time that we need to forget a little bit our own benefits or different side benefits or bilateral benefits, and we try to push down even our time or our ambitions or our new future and the new generation future, power bestows critical point. This period, if we build Egypt by forgiving and by good hearts and by right feeling and by honesty, this is really important. Honestly, we need to be a people honestly with ourselves. This country, I cannot myself never ever to dream one day that I cannot be inside this country. So if the feeling to all of Egyptians, without this country we are nothing. Without our nationalities we will not be nothing. So we need to build our country by cooperation and by right feelings.
Right, on that very optimistic note, with end this edition of Windows on Current Affairs, gentlemen, Major General Pilot Hesham Al-Halabi, Consulting National Military Academy, thank you very much.